الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. وقال الملك إني أرى 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات. يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون. قالوا أضغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين. وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون. يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون. قال تزرعون 7 سنين دأبا فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك 7 شداد يأكلن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحصنون. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس وفيه يعصرون. وقال الملك ائتوني به فلما فجاءه الرسول قال ارجع إلى ربك فاسأله ما بال النسوة اللاتي قطعن أيديهن إن ربي بكيدهن عليم. قال ما خطبكن إذ راوتن يوسف عن نفسه قلنا حاش لله ما علمنا عليه من سوء. قالت امرأة العزيز الآن حصحص الحق أنا راودته عن نفسه وإنه لمن الصادقين. ذلك ليعلم أني لم أخنه بالغيب وأن الله لا يهدي كيد الخائنين. وما أبرئ نفسي إن النفس لأمارة بالسوء إلا ما رحم ربي إن ربي غفور رحيم. وقال الملك ائتوني به أستخلصه لنفسي فلما كلمه قال إنك اليوم لدينا مكين أمين. قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. وكذلك مكنا ليوسف في الأرض يتبوأ منها حيث يشاء نصيب برحمتنا من نشاء ولا نضيع أجر المحسنين ولأجر الآخرة خير للذين آمنوا وكانوا يتقون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers, and Alhamdulillah, this morning the episode or the scene is going to begin from the house or the palace of the king. And this is the first time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has introduced the king into the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So this is the first time that we're going to hear about him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَقَالَ الْمَلِكِ إِنِّي أَرَى سَبْعَ بَقَرَاتٍ سِمَانٍ يَأْكُلُهُنَّ سَبْعٌ عِجَافٍ. The king is going to see a dream that's going to bother him. And he's not happy. And he wants to know the interpretation of this dream. So imagine the dream bothering the king, and the king doesn't know what this dream actually means. And also, as we can all imagine, the king normally has advisors, he has as courtiers, he has individuals like, for example, magicians, fortune tellers are part of his advisors. So now he said to them, يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون. I want you to interpret this dream for me. Give me the fatwa. What do you think this dream actually means? The question now is, what's the dream? The dream is that the dream that the king has seen is the following. He saw 7 fat cows eaten by 7 thin cows. And when he saw that, and he also seen, the king has also seen 7 green ears of corn and 7 others as well. So he said to the notables, tell me the interpretation of this dream. And what did they say? قالوا أضغاث أحلام. They said these are confusing dreams. These are what? Confusing dreams. And we are not trained to interpret these kind of dreams. وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين. So in a way they kind of like blamed him for having the dream, instead of just saying, we just really don't know, sorry about this. They put the blame on him and said, these are just confusing dreams. And why did he see them? Anyway, why did he see this dream? وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون. Just imagine the cupbearer, the guy who serves the king when it comes to his drinks. وقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر. Now he remembered. بعد أمة, after a while. Imagine when he left the prison and Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam told him that you will be saved, you will go back to the king, you're going to work for him. Just please mention me in front of him, you know. But this guy, he has forgotten about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam altogether. But now he did remember him, because this issue is relating to the dream. This is about a dream, about interpretation of dreams. So now he remembered Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And what did he say? أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون. Just imagine the cupbearer going to the king and saying to him, and also addressing the courtiers as well, guys, I can tell you the interpretation of this dream. So give me some time off. I need to take some time off from work. The ulama, they said maybe the prison was not within the city. It was further away from the city. So he needed time to go out from the palace and travel and then get the information and come back. So he said, give me time. I need to go out and get the interpretation for it. But he did not tell them where he was going or who was he getting it from. He's just said, I'm going to get you the interpretation of this dream. And then he went back. When he went back, he went out to see Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. So we can tell that he went back to the prison. He went back to the prison to see Yusuf alayhi salam. So when he went to Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he did not mention that, he did not apologize to him, or he didn't say like, sorry, I forgot, you know, you told me to mention you in front of the king, but I really forgot, sorry about this, I've got something I want you to help me with. He just went and said, Yusuf, ayyuha siddiq, as if nothing happened. Said, oh Yusuf, the truthful one, and أفتنا في سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع عجاف. Just tell us and your interpretation of this dream. And this dream, what is it about? 7 fat cows eaten by 7 lean ones, and also and the corns and that. And then he said the 7 ears that are dry and the ones that are not dry. But Yusuf alayhi salam, before he didn't answer the question yet. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَعَلِّي أَرْجِعُ إِلَى النَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. So the guy who came, the cupbearer, has said to Prophet Yusuf, لَعَلِّي أَرْجِعُ إِلَى النَّاسِ. Maybe I'll go back to the people. Maybe he means he's going to go back to the king, or he means like I'm going to go back to the community and the society, and I'll tell them what this means. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. They may know. Okay, so Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, as you can see, he's not going to say to him like, why didn't you mention my name in front of the king? Or he did not put any conditions. He did not say like, I'm not going to interpret this dream until I'm given, for example, a promise that I will be released from jail. He didn't say anything like that. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, straight away he recognized the severity of this dream and what this dream means. And he also recognizes that the whole community, the whole society is in danger. And he said to him, قَالَ تَزْرَعُونَ سَبْعَ سِنِينَ دَأَبًا. He said to him, for 7 consecutive years, you shall sow as usual. So the next 7 years, beginning from now, things will be normal. Everything's going to be good. Just you have to continue farming very hard. Okay? تَزْرَعُونَ سَبْعَ سِنِينَ دَأَبًا فَمَا حَصَدْتُمْ فَذَرُوهُ فِي سُنبُلِهِ. Whatever you reap, and that which you reap, you shall leave in ears. Okay, so apart from what you're going to eat, which is going to be just bare minimum. So he is introducing a policy which is an austerity, kind of like fiscal policy, which is going to be quite painful. So he's saying to them, these 7 years, things will be fine, but I don't want you to eat too much. You just eat what is necessary. That's it. And the rest has to be stored. Why? ثُمَّ يَأْتِي من بعد ذلك سبع شداد. After that, 7 hard years will come, and you will eat everything you stored up, except little bit. إلا قليلا مما تحصنون. A bit that you have stored, but the rest you will absolutely you will consume it. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك. After that, what will come? This is something that was not asked. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he was not asked about this particular issue, but this is like an extra thing that he's going to add. So he told them the 7 years that will be fine, the hard 7 years, and then he's going to tell them what will happen on the 15th year. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس. The 15th year, what's going to happen? That year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bless you with so much rain. You will have so much rain that year. وَفِيهِ يَعْصِرُونَ. And what will happen when you have so much rain? People will press grapes and wine and oil and so forth. Just now imagine the cupbearer going back to the king. Now he knows the information. He knows the interpretation of the dream. He's going back to the king and also to the courtiers, like the powerful individuals that are with the king. And he says to them, yes, I've got the interpretation. Naturally, you would think the king definitely is going to ask him, where did he get that interpretation from? Where is the source? Now he has to tell him where the source is. Okay, who the source is. And probably he told him that there's someone in prison that I got that information from. So the king now is going to say to him, وَقَالَ الْمَلِكِ ائْتُونِي بِهِ. I want you to bring this man to me. I want to meet with this person. The king doesn't know Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. He never met him. Okay, so this is the first time. He said, I want to see this man who has interpreted this amazing dream. I want to see him. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الرَّسُولُ. But look, when the messenger came to him and went back to prison and said to Yusuf, Yusuf, the king wants to see you come out of prison. You would think Yusuf alayhi salam would jump out of his cell and say, I'm ready to go out. But look what Yusuf alayhi salam has said. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ الرَّسُولُ. He said, قال ارجع إلى ربك فاسأله ما بال النسوة اللاتي قطعن أيديهن. He said, go back to your master, meaning the king. Okay, go back to him and ask him, how's the situation of the women who cut their fingers or their hands? Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he doesn't want to come out of prison without clearing his name. He doesn't want to come out without clearing his name. Imagine someone who was given the opportunity to come out of prison and now he's asking for a trial. He said, I'm not going to go out. I want an inquiry. Okay? I need to clear my name. I'm not just going to come out like that. Prophet Yusuf probably now he knows if he comes out, probably the king is going to take care of him. He's going to be given a position. A lot of good things will happen to him. But he doesn't want also to go out of prison without clearing his name. And then he said, Inna Rabbi bikaydihinna alim. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of their schemes and their plots. Also, some of the ulama said it also could mean Inna Rabbi bikaydihinna alim, as if he is hinting to the king. He's saying, if you want to investigate, if you want to kind of like start the trial or the inquiry, you should actually speak to my master. Do you know the guy who used to own me and the minister? You should speak to him because he knows about all of this. He knows all about this issue. So, Inna Rabbi bikaydihinna alim. And then what happened? The king now is inviting all the women. And he wants to speak to them. قَالَ مَا خَطْبُكُنَّ إِذْ رَاوَدتُّنَّ يُوسُفَ عَنْ نَفْسِهِ, he said to them. Imagine those women who are married to the powerful individuals. Now they're standing before the king. And the king is kind of like, he's the judge, he's the jury, he's the executioner, everything. The king was everything because he's the law, everything. So now he's addressing the woman. He said to them, قَالَ مَا خَطْبُكُنَّ إِذْ رَاوَدتُّنَّ يُوسُفَ عَنْ نَفْسِهِ. He said to them, like, what was the matter with you? When you tried to seduce Yusuf, what was that all about? قَالَ مَا خَطْبُكُنَّ إِذْ رَاوَدتُّنَّ يُوسُفَ. And now the women know they're in the spot. They've been put on the spotlight. And the king is there. Probably he's on the side of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam by now. So they have to come clean. So قال ما خطبكن إذ راودتن يوسف عن نفسه قلنا حاش لله ما علمنا عليه من سوء. They said, Allah forbid, no evil, no, we against him. They said, the women have said, we do not know anything bad about Yusuf. He's a good guy. Who is now on the spot? Imra'atul Aziz, the wife. Now she cannot lie anymore. Khalas, lies are out of the window right now. If she tries to lie and says like, no, it was him, because remember, قالت فذلكن الذي لمتنني فيه ولقد راودته عن نفسي. She admitted before them, in front of them. They know they can easily testify against her right now. So she has to come clean right now. She said, الآن حصحص الحق. She said, now the truth has come out. الآن حصحص الحق. أنا راودته عن نفسي. I was the one who was seducing him. I was the one who kind of like made those attempts. وإنه لمن الصادقين. And he's from the truthful people. He doesn't lie. He did not lie. And then the next ayah, the ulama, they have differed. Who said this particular statement? Is it Yusuf who said this statement? Or is it the wife of the minister who said this statement? ذَلِكَ لِيَعْلَمَ أَنِّي لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي كَيْدَ الْخَائِنِينَ. The ulama, some of them, the majority of them, they've said, the one who said this statement was Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. And it is as if he's saying, the reason I have asked for this inquiry or this trial was to inform the master, to let the master know I did not cheat him. ذَلِكَ لِيَعْلَمَ أَنِّي لَمْ أَخُنْهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. So Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam has said, I asked for this inquiry in order that the Aziz, meaning like the minister who took care of him and was kind to him and nice to him, may know that I betrayed him not in secret. So that's why I've done this. And he said, وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي كَيْدَ الْخَائِنِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the plot of those people who plot. أَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي كَيْدَ الْخَائِنِينَ. The treacherous people, their plots, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide. وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ. And he said, and I free not myself from the blame. Verily the human, or the self, is inclined to evil. Except إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي. And he said, إِلَّا لَأَمَّارَةٌ بِالسُّوءِ إِلَّا مَا رَحِمَ رَبِّي. Except when my Lord bestows mercy upon whom he wills. Inna Rabbi Ghafur Rahim. So right now you can see Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, his name has been cleared. The women have accepted and admitted that he was not at fault. The wife has admitted, the wife of the minister has admitted that he was not at fault. So now his name is clear and very clean. So now he can come out. And then the king has said, وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِهِ أَسْتَخْلِصُهُ لِنَفْسِي. He said, I want Yusuf to be brought to me now, and I want him to be kind of like my own personal advisor, someone who's going to stay with me. Okay? He's going to report back to me, and there will be nobody between me and him. وَقَالَ الْمَلِكُ ائْتُونِي بِهِ أَسْتَخْلِصُهُ لِنَفْسِي فَلَمَّا كَلَّمَهُ. And when Yusuf spoke to him, now the king has recognized how intelligent this young man is. How old was Yusuf alayhi salam at that time? He was only 30 years old. He was 30 years old. Very intelligent, very handsome, mashallah. And also, he was someone who was very spiritual, someone who was not falling into sins and so forth. So the king was very impressed with him. And the king has promised him two things. قَالَ إِنَّكَ الْيَوْمَ لَدَيْنَا مَكِينٌ أَمِينٌ. From today, he said to him, okay, you will be trusted. You will also be given protection. So now, from now on, Yusuf alayhi salam doesn't have to worry about what might happen to him or what might the powerful people do to him anymore. So, إِنَّكَ الْيَوْمَ لَدَيْنَا مَكِينٌ أَمِينٌ. From now on, you will be established, and you will be given a trust, and you will be given favor. Okay, we'll do favor for you. And from now on, you don't have to worry. And Yusuf alayhi salam, now he's going to take this opportunity because he knows how corrupt these people are. And he knows the danger that is imminent, which is coming towards the people. The 7 good years and then the 7 hard years and so forth. So he knows that the fiscal policies should be taken care of by someone who has knowledge and someone who is trustworthy. He said, قَالَ جَعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. He said, put me in charge of the nation's storehouses. Make me the finance minister. For what reason? Now he's going to show his resume. He's got 2 important qualities. Inni hafidhun alim. Because I am someone who's trustworthy, and not only that, also I have knowledge. It was said and narrated. The king spoke 70 languages. 70 languages. That king, he was able to speak 70 languages. And whenever he spoke to Yusuf with one language, Yusuf alayhi salam was able to speak to him with that language. And the king is so impressed. He said, this guy is super, super intelligent. He knows all the language that I know. And on top of those languages that he knew, Yusuf alayhi salam knew 2 languages that the king didn't know. The Arabic language and also the Ibri language. The king didn't know those 2 languages. So right now, the king is so impressed with Yusuf. He said, قَالَ اجْعَلْنِي عَلَى خَزَائِنِ الْأَرْضِ إِنِّي حَفِيظٌ عَلِيمٌ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now has concluded this particular episode by saying, وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, in this way we settled the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam in that land to live wherever he wished. Remember, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, since he was young, he didn't have the opportunity to live where he wanted. There was a time when he lived inside the well. There was a time when he lived in the palace. He didn't choose to live there. And there was time when he lived in prison and he didn't want to live there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, right now, Yusuf has been given the opportunity to live wherever he wants. وَكَذَلِكَ مَكَّنَّا لِيُوسُفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَتَبَوَّأُ مِنْهَا حَيْثُ يَشَاءُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said after that, نُصِيبُ بِرَحْمَتِنَا مَنْ نَشَاءُ وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. We bestow our mercy on whom we please, and we make not to be lost the reward of al-muhsinun. What can we learn from these ayat, especially where Yusuf alayhi salam said, make me the minister, the finance minister, for example. If you think you are in a position where you are able to do better job than other people, and if you think you are someone who's trustworthy, you can put yourself forward and say, I want to do this. Also, what we can learn from this is that someone who's a Muslim can work with non-Muslims. You can see the government, the king that Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam was working with and working under was a non-Muslim and king. The whole thing was, and there was nothing Islamic about it. He was the person who was a believer that time. But the rest of them were non-believers. And he said, I am going to work with you. And that shows you also, and it's permissible for Muslims to work with non-Muslims in governmental levels and at governmental levels. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the last ayah of this episode, وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. And verily the reward of the hereafter is best for those who believe and are mindful. So inshallah ta'ala, a new episode is going to begin tomorrow when the brothers of Yusuf will come to Yusuf without them knowing. Inshallah ta'ala, do not miss tomorrow's episode. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.